Okay, let's start chapter 20. Chapter 20, 1 to 13. 1 to 13 is actually, let's just make it whole chapter 20 because actually there is a lot to talk, and I don't want to read it like a sentence by sentence, but let's just start her like something I noticed. Firstly, chapter 20 is very close to Abram. He moved to south to Egypt, right? But the move to South Egypt is very vague. That his experience is very vague. It didn't give a detailed things. But here, it's very detailed. It has king's name, it has a location, and it has dialogue between the god and the kings, everything. So even it has the side effect, like the kings, like a family member cannot get pregnant, or eventually released to get pregnant or something. So it sounds more true to me. It's a story sounds more true because the Egypt things is just go down there, then get it back with all kinds of money because of this. So that's the whole story. But I always question firstly, why Abram wants to move, since he lived in that area, the big oak tree of Mamre for so many years, right? Why he moved? The story is after Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, and Abram decided to move. The first thing is, in here, I have a thought. Actually, this is should I say, it's a truth for everything. You know, doesn't matter how smart you are, doesn't matter how good you are, how strong you are. You know, the absolutely blunt force always take over. So doesn't matter how fast, how good a gunner, and you know what, with absolutely blunt force, one is a lot of army, even with a dumb jarhead, right? Or a lot of angry peasants with the sticks, clear stick, yeah, with sticks. Eventually you're gonna die. You will be exhausted. So I think the reason for Abraham his move is he's unable to face the blunt force. The blunt force is angry local. Because when Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed, people will blame. Well, that's the God from what? From Abraham, a Lot, whatever. They came here, they destroyed us, right? People find some way and release the anger because Lot, he escaped. So the news from Zorah will spread everywhere. Eventually, those people will form a big legion, big amount towards Abraham, his territory. It will destroy him. So I believe at this point, Abraham, the good idea for him is what? Just move. Just delay the time. Let the time work. Let people forget. Let people tired, exhausted. Let people looking for survive first instead of release their angry. So that's the reason Abraham moved towards south. He cannot go north, go back, because he didn't want to go back as a loser or something, bring the disaster to his hometown, right? Also, go north, I think he need to go cross the river. It takes really long time, delay his movement. So the first thing is he goes south, and he has been, I think he familiar this route. So he goes south to kind of like a maneuver, leading the whole enemy, exhaust the enemy force. Yeah, that's I think he's trying to do. And it's not that long, probably 100 miles, because the area he's doing is still other people's territory. Another king called Gera, right? But in here, the first sentence, second sentence, he did it again. He called his wife sister. Yeah, ancient time they do marry with their sister or half sisters, but when you go outside, when you talk to other people, introduce other people, your wife is your sister. This actually contains the strategy. You may need to use your wife to form a marriage-related relationship, or get those kind of, to be somebody's like a fiance, get all the booking money, something, and smuggling, scamming. That's what I feel, So Abraham, he is that's their habit. I'd rather say it's a habit, but I would say he's a weak man. Even he has 300 horse people, 300 special force people, but you know what? He clearly knew he really cannot against the king, the real king, yeah. The funny thing is, the king is like only I would say like in the middle Israel, middle like a Canaan area, right? So probably someone has a couple province or a big city, something, and with a little more people, you can call yourself king. So in ancient time, it's very easy to be a king. So when God promised Abraham, you will be your descendant will be king, something, that's not hard to promise. But when promise you will have a nation, the word nation itself combines like a lot of like structuralized territory. So that's total different story. So you have to be a country, a big country, like we thought, instead of a province, a small province. Yeah. In here, like in Egypt, God never told Pharaoh, right, that's somebody's wife. God just directly made the whole family sick. But in here, they emphasized, well, you can't do it because this is somebody's wife. Also, it emphasized the king haven't touched Sarai. They want to make sure Sarai is clean. I know, like it's interesting why they want to emphasize these parts. The Sarai haven't been touched or something. Is that possible? Is that possible? A gene related issue? Because Sarah could have a pregnant with somebody else, and that land at that moment, God doesn't have much power to make sure she's pure. She get pregnant with Abraham. She might get pregnant with somebody else. They just restore her body. They just restore her shape. But pregnant takes time, right? And at this moment, you don't want to make arguments. Yeah. So that's the issue. Why God want the gene? Make sure the gene. We already talked at the very far beginning. Think about it. God doesn't give a shit about like what you do. Yeah. Only two things, I think. First, whether you still worship him or not. You are his people. Secondly, you have his gene or not. So people like did all bad things on earth. Murder, cheating, adultery, all kinds. He doesn't care. Yeah. Just within their eyes, 100 years, 1,000 years means nothing. Really means nothing. So if look back. You look back as a adult. You look like those child, right? The momentarily arguments, the crying, the jealous, child like a pet, puppy love. You just laugh at it, and then you just move. Why? Same like a God. You expand the time. You expand the time, right? Expand the time. Just imagine like God live 1 million years. You live 100 years, and you shorten the time for kids, for the ways we did. There is no difference. Really, no difference. So that's the ways I try to explain the Bible or try to help you understand the Bible is you are a mini God. Put yourself in a God view and use just don't bond it by the timeline. We can live 100 whatever. Don't bound it by the timeline. When you look things, you can just extend like really long like a God, just for one moment, just for one thing. You might get a really deep understand. Yeah, that's I try to do through the Bible study. So don't recite people told you. Don't think you are a receiver. Think individually as yourself. Yeah. I met so many like Christians. They just recite the verse and they just think they're good, and they explain something. People explain. They explain something. People force them, taught them to explain. There is no way they're able to form a true understanding of the Bible. It's very sad. Yeah, it's very sad. Well, actually, who cares? We're gonna die anyway, right? It's just like I'd rather say like my commentary or the way of my explanation is a little drink, little smoke in a boring life. I have to talk about the prostitution, because I think Sarah or Sarai, her position, there's no difference between her like a prostitute or a high price escort. That's what you can tell. Firstly, she knew what she's doing, right? And it's not forcefully, actually. It is she clearly told the king she's a sister. Deceive. Even she is sister, half sister probably, but she's the wife. She is the wife of the tribe, a big tribe, a chief, Abraham. So why she still need to use her body in exchange for the Abraham, maybe the tribe's survival, or feels like this. Abraham tried go south, and when he passed, or when he lived at the king Gerar, that his territory, right? He needs to pay parking fee. Yeah, it is parking fee. So Asian time, what can you pay for? You pay for your body. So body is the cheapest, honest, more the realistic product you can offer. So that's when Abraham went to Egypt. He used Sarah to pay for that. And same thing right here. He used Sarah to pay for the price also. And so Abraham is a pimp daddy. Sarah is a prostitute. That's what I feel. Or you want to say, okay, they want to survive. You have 100 million ways to survive. You don't have to use this way. And see what Abraham got from this two deal. First deal, he got a lot of maids, got a lot of money, a lot of treasures from Pharaoh, right? And this time, same thing. he got like what, 1,000 silvers. It's not that good price, but it's good price or better price because Sarah is 89 years old. How could a king interesting to band with an 89 years old lady? It's so weird way to detailize to talk. The whole chapter 20 is very detailed way to talk about. Well, Sarah she's on her own will, and the king didn't touch her, and the king's family was affected. So God told the guy, well, you're a good body, you're a good boy, you didn't touch her, whatever, so let her go, something. It's real. It's real things. And that's the whole culture or the whole thing under God's permission. Or should I say, is when God is take a nap. When God take a nap, they did it. And God found out, no, you can't do that. Why? Why God allowed Sarah did it in Egypt, but not allowed they do it right now? I think first I need to say God doesn't give a shit about you are a prostitute or you are escort or something. It's fine. That's the way of a human being living, and it's just the social rules doesn't apply to his rule. So second thing is that time Sarah probably her womb is not opened, not prepared to have a kid. So this time when God, 3 angels, right? God and angels, they came down to fix Sarah's body. So she's capable, she's able to pregnant. So this time, in order for her to keep the gene pure, not contaminated by other genes, God has to stop the intercourse. You have to stop right there because you don't want to take the risk. That's what all I can say is. But I still just don't get it. How could that such weird culture, an 89 years old lady, and the king wants to sleep with her, and can't you take something else better? Just I need to do more research. Yeah, I think we can think the whole chapter 20 as a big story, like Save Private Ryan. No, change the name to Save Old Lady Sarah. Let's just I've been talking about the sequence and the order and the full battle parties. God's heavens, right? Fallen angels, and the earth, which is the abyss, and the human being. So it's all battles, all mind battle, fate battle, all kinds of battle we are within the battlefield. So this whole chapter 20 perfectly explained the battle and save old lady Sarah. Okay. First let's go back to always 5 criteria, right? Those important elements: who, when, where, why, how, those things. And firstly, who is the king? The king of Gerar, right? His name, based on his name, showed he is the son. His father is king, and his father is the king to help build Jerusalem, the city of Jerusalem. And there are 12 kings. He's one of it. So he's a very powerful man in the local, as a region, is a powerful man. And this time he's not that kind of king. Abram can just like a cheating or mocking or beat crap of it. Remember, Abraham, he took like 380 his peoples and chasing kings like the 5 kings like their supply chain and release all the peoples. So those rebelling kings, they are not big kings, they are small kings. Just that time it's very easy to claim, to announce you are the king, as long you have a village or a couple village or something, someone, hooray, the king, you will be the king. Yeah, it's easy to name yourself king, but that king, the area, Gary, that king is a true king. He has enough power, enough soldier, enough influence. So when Abraham go down south, when he pass his territory, right, or he need to live there for a while, what do he need to do? He need to show respect, give tribute, and he need give some parking fee. That's the parking fee. Yeah, that's the story. Also, another thing is why the king wants Sarah. Remember at the beginning, very far beginning, Abraham talked about, oh, my wife, she slept with a Pharaoh, right? And so I got all the monies from Pharaoh. In the ancient time, people, they looking for something different, something unique, something extraordinary, so if you have a red hair, you will get named Red Hair, John Red Hair, whatever, and then you will become famous. If you have some kind of, you escape from the lion cage or something, you will have the name, title, and the people might just came to see you. They want to see the difference. And why a lot of people love to see the execution? Because most people just drop dead, walking and drop dead, sleep and die, rotten. So nothing really make them feel the existence. So when the king were to show his power, were to make he feel the difference, well, I eat some rare things. I slept some women, beautiful women. No, I don't want a beautiful anymore, or I don't care beautiful anymore. I want some unique, special woman who someone, Pharaoh had it, right? That's kind of like you take a picture with the influencer and you got a little bit of traffic. Yeah, that's I think the same mind. Yeah. Why the king actually didn't sleep with Sarah? The king was emphasized. Oh, I did not touch her. I think there are two reasons. One is we call the Save Private Ryan, right? Right here is the science research showed female, when you have offspring, right? When you have a son will inherit 90% of mother-sized intelligence. Is there any reason? I think it makes sense. Why? Because women, she took the wisdom fruit first. So she actually has I highly believe she has the gene, or she has the fate to pass down the fruit. Because all the way back to Genesis, female took the fruit first, nothing happens, then persuade Adam to took it. That's it. So female has that kind of seed within her. She passed down 90% to the next generation. Then another thing is when God show the king in the dream, why God can't show him, just really show in front of him? Because I don't know why. Because God showed to Abraham all the time. Why God didn't send it through the real life instead of only in the dream? It's very interesting, right? And when you have something, I think it's possible. Is kind of like one is this battle. Okay, this battle is not this is the battle between the three sides, fallen angel, earth, something, right? Because earth made the king feel the difference, feel the woman's unique, disregard she's old. And fallen angel made the king has the emotion, it boosted, make it, oh, well, I wanted that kind of women, I want to have sex, I want something, I want to take it as a tribute. And the same thing. So I think at this moment, it's a fair game. Everyone has own rule to play. So God cannot really directly involve into it. Think about it. He can destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Why he cannot destroy this king? Because this king is, I think, belong to some kind of treaty. It's within their own party, own group. So you can't just treat them as Sodom and Gomorrah, and he has nothing wrong. He just live like king. So you have to use indirect method to involve. So he might just stop his erection. He cannot erect, and so if you cannot erect, you cannot be hard. You cannot make women pregnant, right? Mostly. So that's allowed. That's within their limitation, and so it avoids the gene contamination. So Sarah will pregnant with Adam, the Abraham. That's what I thought. So for me it feels like it is like try to save Sarah, save the gene. Yeah, that's the whole big picture. Yeah, today's talk may little long. Today I attended one friend's funeral. During the funeral, I thought a lot. You see, like we scared of a death, right? So we start to pray. We start to begging the death, or we try to act like the messenger of the death, try to be a part of it, to worship it. Or people doing a lot of research, right? Doing a lot of research, use some kind of intuitive method, try to understand it. Or some people, they even mocking the death, joking, laughing, whatever. But none of it are useful, because you're gonna die regardless, right? Just die and like a rotten, waiting the maggot eat you. That's it. So why we scared of the death? Why? That's the reason why. That's what I saw from my experience of it. It's because what? Because it's cold. The object in front of you, actually, it's kind of like a black hole. It sucks all your energies. And when it's frozen without any motion, it looks ugly. And when it's decomposed, right? With the maggots around, it stinks. It's your sense, all your sense, your see, your nose, everything. It kind of reflects to ourselves in that situation, so it's not comfortable. So most people will feel bad about it and scared. And what if? Just say, what if? What if you suddenly, when you die, you suddenly vanish, like a lighting something, you suddenly gone, or you gradually became the ash, right? Or you became a butterfly, flew away or something. I don't think that people were scared of die, right? It's a beautiful thing. So who is control those things, control the death. I think like I always talk about the heavens, earth, and the fallen angels. I think earth and the fallen angels play the most parts in here. The reason is, firstly, earth, right? It make you decompose. It make you dry. You became an ashes. Totally became back to the ground, right? So the earth uses its own way, her or she or his own way, to claim his sovereignty strongly, unless you totally became part of it, right? And you return to him. It reminds you you are part of it. So earth claim the sovereignty. And what else? I think fallen angel also play the game also. Why? Because fallen angel, the capability is emotional boosting, and they put the finger at the pivot point. So they might just make you enlarge the feeling of your death, your emotion, enlarge it, boost it, or pivot. You may love death, you may scare death, you may running away, or you just extremely freak out. So they play that part of it. Yeah. Why? Why? Think like the reason is those kind of our sensors, what do we see, what do we hear, what do we taste, those things, our sensor bring us those informations. It will left in our conscious, then it will gradually goes to our subconscious. And I believe our soul is working in the subconscious somehow in there, because your soul, sometimes your dream, all those things deeply will influenced by the experience you have. So I think earth, they start a plague, they start a war, they start a lot of disaster, and the earth and the fallen angel make you went crazy, those kind of, you lost yourself, all those things. It will make a deep impact in your mind, in your consciousness. Then you will have regret, you will have love, you will have a desire, those things. It goes to your subconscious. It will contaminate your soul. So when medieval time, when the religions start, people fascinating about the punishment, fascinating about life and the death, fascinating about the seeking the spiritual world. And this time, all parties notice they need to change their battlefield to the soul. So, and I think the first thing's impact on soul is life and death. I think that's the time people start to develop more and more funeral culture, those kind of, those weird things. But before that, I think before 800, some people don't give a shit about life and death, Yeah. Also, yeah, I did a research about Abraham and Abraham, why he gave away his wife, sleep with others, and to gain his survival. I think the whole concept changed. Because that time, think about the wife. Right now, wife, right? Do you mind your wife sleep with others, or you want to put your wife go with others? It's pimp daddy, and you don't like it, you don't want it. Most of it. Not all of them, but most of it. So it's your wife, it belongs to you, solely, you, right? You belong to your wife solely. So that's the point. But that time is not. That time, a wife is a position, a title. It links the whole tribe, a whole family survive. So wife, she has the responsibility to do also. Wife is the middle person who if she sleep with someone, she basically, she made a contract. She made a commitment with someone. So basically, when Abraham gave his wife to the king, Kara or Pharaoh, whatever, right? Pharaoh has to sleep with her. He has to enter her to make the covenant complete, the contract complete. So you basically stamp on her. So she is the middle. She's in the middle to witness the whole thing. Basically, I surrender you, I bow down to you, I give my wife to you. And in the whole family, only one wife. The rest, you can have sex with all the slaves, all the females, but you only allowed to have one wife who charges everything. So that's her position is very important. So she has to, when certain situation, important contract sign, she has to be the middle one, the paper, put the stamp over. So I think that's the culture that time, because Abraham did and his son like Isaac did also. So that I read it. I think that's explanation of it. Also, when the king give 1,000 silver coins, something to Abraham, it's a reimbursement. It's in the book say, okay, it's cover her shame, this whatever. Yeah, indeed. It's basically you didn't finish the contract, right? Say I break the contract, so I give you the reimburse. But she take the money, go back, and the witness, she brought the money back. Hey, this is the contract, whatever. It's very interesting, but right now we don't use this anymore. But that time, I think now I totally understand it. I think that time, be a wife, especially be a big family wife, requires a lot of guts, requires a lot of encouragement. So show respect to Sarah. Yeah, I changed my mind. Show respect to her. Happy 4th of July. This is the last talk about the chapter 20 regarding Sarai, because by the end it talk about the king give Abram 1,000 silver shekels, right? And told Sarah, it will cover your shame and nobody will say anything to you. You are vindicated. So it's I did a research for the Asian time. People like you can basically it's a contract. It's a mutual contract, right? And how you gonna just break the contract? How you gonna because she is wife of the king. Also, she's the wife of the Abraham. But that time, the king need to separate the relationship. You can't just so get away, get out, right? It's a divorce. It's a separation of the contract. So you can't use what? Just send her back. Because if the king just send her back, that means she has some kind of wrong. She violated certain things. For example, she's talking too much, she gossips, she has a disease, or she cannot have kids, she's not doing well, her character has wrong, or she's too lust, something. Just those things will be a mark, permanent mark on her. So this is not the way. How can she live? It's basically talk about we divorce, we peacefully with the agreement. So I give you some kind of reimburse, like a 1,000 shekels, silver shekel. It's not big money, but it's still like a certain amount, good amount for short-term marriage. So that's the ways the king peacefully separate with Sarai to save her face, to save Abraham's face, not leaving those bad influence for her future, because she might marry with or might be sent to another king again, right? It's possible. So they do not burn the bridge. Also, another thing is why king call Abram your brother. See, think about it. Because if you call your husband, send to your husband, he knew Abram is the husband, right? But he choose to pick the brother side, because I took from brother. I close my eyes, okay, and I don't know the husband parts. I return you to the brother, so my hands clean. It's very like a somehow like I think it's a very hypocrite method, but legally nothing wrong. Legally nothing wrong. Yeah. Also another thing is when you put two together, your brother 1,000 shekel to make you vindicated, everything that indicates she might go to another king, and this kind of habit still will keep going. Still will keep going. So that's what I think the sentence talk about. Also, did God say anything about it? No, nothing. I mean, zero, nada. God didn't say anything about it. Why? I don't think God gave them really like from a chapter 15 all the way to now, so many times about the human things, the things we thought those are things. God really doesn't give a shit. Only thing make God angry is one is you not worship me, right? Secondly, the amount of a territory, the territory from other gods or whatever exceed too much, so his power was shaken. So he's worried about that part. Yeah, think about the cities, Sodom and Gomorrah, 5%, 10%, 20%. Yeah, the amount of the people. If you still have a certain amount, he's not worried because the influence level you still can start to influence. But you below it, which means the other king, the other god, take the territory, the religion, the faith, the belief territory totally. So he's worried about that part. Then he said, you know what? If I can't get it, you can't have it. So he just totally wipe everything out. So you can see God's his character. He's a very, very kind of like he wants everything power urged, and then when he cannot have the power, he rather destroy everything. So he has the limitation. Yeah. That concludes all the chapter 20.